Well, I think I'll answer some of the questions that we've been getting lately on the videos. So with this high churn, I mean, ideally I don't want to have this much churn, but lately because of the nature of markets, my risk appetite in terms of directionality is low, because right now capital preservation, capital management is far more important than trying to make some big profits. So in this kind of churn, what are the charges that I would be facing? So majority of my charge is not brokerage at all. Brokerage, no matter if you execute 66 lots on the Nifty or you execute single lot, is going to be 20 rupees per order. So brokerage is not at all of concern. What adds up is your government charges and NSA transaction charges. So exchange transaction charges and government charges plus GST, this, that, all that put together, it works out to between 10 to 15,000 and sometimes even 20,000. Like on a day like this, it'll be higher than 15,000 because we've had a lot of change. So so roughly on a position this size, you can say between half a point to 1 point is going to go for charges. So it is a negative sum game. You are competing against a losing proposition. If you make the same amount of profit, same amount of loss every time, you're going to lose money because of these charges. So that is one question. The next question I get a lot is, how do you scale size? I think I answered this in my introduction video. Size is something that will come with time, provided you stay disciplined. Think of it this way: you start trading with one lot, you get very comfortable trading with one lot, you then move on to trading with 2 lots, 3 lots, 4 lots, 5 lots, and at each stage you have to spend some time. You can't be in a rush to say, okay, I want to trade with more. Even if you have capital, ideally the capital for your growth and scaling should come from your trading itself. That even if you have the capital, you need to have the discipline to say that, look, I am able to stay emotionally stable, I am able to be disciplined in my trades, I am not losing control of the trade, I'm not panicking, I'm not getting super overjoyed, I'm not feeling depressed. When you're fitting into all the criteria of what gives you comfort managing a certain level of capital, then you move on to the next, right? And then you can then look at, okay, the profits that you have made, if you've been comfortable and doing well at a certain scale, then you move on to the next. There's this big thing that, okay, the more capital you have, the easier trading becomes. Yes and no. The answer to that is very simply yes and no. Yes, if you know what you're doing and you're very comfortable managing that money. No, because having larger capital is the fastest way to lose a large amount of capital. It doesn't get simpler than that. You have more money, it is the easiest way to lose more money if you don't know what you're doing, and it's going to happen because in the market you can't hide. You might have 20 days doing really well, that one day that it goes against you will clear everything. One more thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of questions about, why don't you just do like a short straddle in the morning or a short strangle in the morning and set a stop loss to the position. That would work if that was my trading style. Like, I don't like to take directional risk. I'm not let's say my view is that we're going to be centered around 15,000, which we've been talking about for the past few days. I don't want it to be at 14,900 with me sitting there praying that the market goes back up or that my stop loss hits, or vice versa. If I was doing it with a single lot, somebody said you can set a 40% stop loss on both sides. I could, but the drawdown on that would be upwards of 10%. So if I set a stop loss individually on 2 legs, let's say I enter a short straddle for 200 and I said 40%, I don't trade that way. That's just not the way I trade. More so would be with risk management and capital management more than anything else. We're just trying to capture the decay in between. We're not trying to capture a 100-point move. If we were doing that, we'd be creating debit spreads, or we'd be buying naked options. And there are times where you should buy naked options. This is definitely not the time to buy naked options. You need momentum and you need a certain kind of setup. And when you know you're going to be range bound, but you're going to have random volatility, scalping might work, but trying to go long in options won't necessarily. We'll take a look at what's happening on some of our positional trades. Forgot to update on these. So currently we had taken, so this Bank Nifty covered call is a long way to go. It's in the monthly. We've shorted the 35,000. This is just the covered call that we've been doing on the index for a very long time. A long way to go, nothing to do here. The call is in the money, and that means the future is perfectly hedged, at least for 700 points at this point of time. And HDFC covered call once again. whenever I'm holding a future, it's like I'm holding the shares. I'm not too particularly concerned with if it's making a profit or not, because I plan on holding these shares and I'll keep rolling forward the future, or I'll take delivery at some point. India Bulls Housing Finance, despite that 9% move, we were actually in a 1.5% profit because of the fall off in IV. So this continues to remain fine for now. You don't have to do anything, absolutely no adjustments to be made. IRCTC as well, on the trade that we took last week. Now it is reaching our break even point. So what we'll do is we'll close this entire iron fly and create a new iron fly around 2000. So that we'll be doing today. Okay. ITC as well. This is more or less a covered call and taken some credit on the put side. This as well, we're not too worried about any mark to market, because we plan on rolling this forward and holding the position for a very long time. Reliance, we had to book a lot of our puts and we entered the trade with a bullish view, and we then had to change it around a little bit, move up the puts to 2200 after the big up move that we saw. So we right now, no changes to be made. This is what the Reliance trade looks like now. We'll have to see what happens post this 2200 consolidation to see what kind of changes to be made. If we start making an up move, then we'll have to move our puts in the money. We start making a down move, we'll move part of the calls, not all of them, part of the calls in the money, or part of the puts in the money. We're going to just cut out of this position, and once again, premiums are still very good, IV is still very high, so we'll just move our entire iron fly on IRCTC to 2000. So that will be change. The good thing about Sensible is you can execute this all at once. Take a look at what pricing is there. So we have to buy, we will have to overbid. Okay, so that big up move on IRCTC, we have cut out of the entire position, and effectively we have made a profit of about 4000 or so. So now we will enter a new position on IRCTC. We'll see what the premiums are looking like. The thing is, the IV continues to remain super high. So because IV is high, and if we move up, IV will come down. Why are we choosing 2001? Because it's a round number. Secondly, if it comes down, IV will go up. Whereas if we have an iron fly and we move up, generally the IV will come down, which means we'll still be in profit. Which is why even though there was an up move on our iron fly, we were actually in profit. It was trading at our break even, and we were making a 1.5% profit. So that's just to go. So You can buy a hedge at 1800 and 2200. Okay, fair enough. So effectively, break evens will be something like 2150 and 1900. The good thing about this is if we see an up move, we'll actually not be in a loss or damage on the upside, which is why our max profit is currently lower than what the spot is. So the reason we're taking this trade is purely because the risk reward is very good. Right now, IRCTC is in a clear uptrend. It's breaking out. It's continuing to go. The idea is eventually it will halt somewhere. And meanwhile, this is a very good risk reward trade since the premiums are so good. We're purely taking it for that purpose and nothing else. Okay, so we have cut our previous trade, which is centered around 1900, and moved it to 2020. And yeah, I mean, the logic behind a trade like this is exactly that the IV is really high, premiums are really good, so you can capture a lot of that. And the potential risk also is very low because our hedging is quite tight. So this is what the new IRCTC position looks like. And our India Bulls Housing Finance is doing quite well. Once again, we just shorted when there was high IV, and we're currently sitting on a 2.5%, and we're going to continue to hold this. It's still holding the same range, the price action that we had analyzed before entering this trade, which if you watch the video where we entered this trade, went over that. So we're going to continue to hold this, no changes here. Same goes with everything else. All that being said, I hope you had some takeaways from this video. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow for the expiry. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Please post any questions you have in the comment section. Also, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. To find us on Twitter, Telegram and Facebook, use the username NiftyBN. Also, we post some of our trades to the community tab. So do not forget to check that from time to time.